what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys all enjoyed your weekend, got away from the charts, but it's Sunday. We got to do some chart work. So if you're looking how to learn how to trade futures, or you actively currently trade futures, you need to make sure on Sundays when we're coming back into the market, you do just a quick top-down analysis. So what I'm going to do is a little top-down analysis with you guys on the NASDAQ 100. We're going to start off with the daily time frame. And then we're going to drop down to the 1 hour, and we're going to kind of see where are these pockets of areas of opportunity where we can kind of get in and see if we can make a little bit of money, right? Because that's what it's all about. We show up to the markets every day. We're trying to put ourselves in the best possible scenario so that we can make some cash. So if we just kind of quickly recap on last week's price action, you can see here, going into last week, we got over that 50-day moving average, which was very, very critical for the bulls. What you want to see here is once we came down into this 200-day moving average, we had a little bit of a 2-3 day distribution down here where we chopped below, back over, below, before we started to springboard off this trampoline here, and that trampoline being this 200-day moving average. Now, this has been a fantastic bounce as it stands. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more of a continuation of a little bit of a pullback, okay? That's not to say that we're going to come down here and take out these lows. Again, be open-minded. Anything is possible. First things first, we got to keep it very simple. If we do manage to take out Friday's highs, and we're looking at a price of 19,591, excuse me, that's the low. 19,904, that's the high. If we take out the low, 19,591, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But if we do take out Friday's highs, we're going to have immediate expansion into the 21st as well as the 22nd top wicks here. Now, that's looking at that 20,025. So from a price of 19,904 into 20,025, we don't have a tremendous amount of space. We've got maybe, I would say, 80 to 120 points up to the upside before it starts to chop around. Now, keep in mind, we could explode through that 20,025 and push into 20,200. Ultimately, that would be our measured potential on this move before we see a pullback. If that happens. Now, again, let's keep it very simple. If we take out Friday's highs, we've got at least 100 points of room that we can make cash. So we want to be long-sided bias if we do that. Now, what happens if we pull back? So if we pull back, we've got some very, very firm support. We've got the 50-day moving average and this rising short-term sentiment moving average, the 10 SMA, okay? So you can see here a little bit of a 2-day channel. Realistically, what I would be looking for is anything below 19,550, okay? If we get below that, we could be testing 300s. So that would be the move to the downside. Now, you may be thinking, well, what if we don't really take out the highs and what if we don't take out the lows? Well, we got to be a lot more patient, okay? In that type of scenario, we need to go down into the 1 hour time frame. And if we look at the 1 hour time frame here, let me kind of expand this just a little bit. If we look at the 1 hour time frame, we can see here's that top 20,025 area. But I want you guys to notice something. We've got a little bit of supply here where you can see multiple test points where we keep wicking to this area. This supply is the 100 simple moving average on a 1 hour time frame. What I would be looking at here before we take out this 20,025 is this sneaky area here over 19,830s, okay? Over 19,830s, immediate action into 19,905, any closure over 19,900s, then we could be talking about 20,000. So I don't really want to talk about 20,000 until we get to the 900s. I'm looking at this sneaky channel here, over 19,835 into 900. That's 60 to 75 points worth of room. We could definitely catch a long there. To the downside, because right now, this looks like nothing more than one huge, gigantic bear flag, okay? I want to see us lose 19,700s. If we lose 19,700s, immediate downside into 660 and then 630s. That's where I would look to see if this move holds. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to look down towards 19,582. If we're looking for a little bit of a bounce, I'd actually like to see it get down to 19,555 and 19,591. But what this does when you go through your charts and you start to look at this price action, it starts to give you, it starts to paint a picture. If we do take out Friday's highs, where can we go? I want to be involved on this move. If we do take out the lows, how much space is there actually for that short position? Okay, great. So what happens if we chop around? Okay, one thing, I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Two, I'm going to size down, but where are my sneaky little areas, right? Because again, remember, not every day price just screams through the highs of the prior day. Not every day it just completely washes out the bottom floor. So what happens when it doesn't do that? Fantastic question. We have to be able to take part in these sneaky areas on the smaller time frames. And I think the 1 hour chart is a great chart, a great time frame where you can set these levels to find these little pockets of opportunity. And once we find these pockets of opportunity, what I then want to do here is, if I was to make this little sneaky area channel to the downside here, I've got a little bit of a range. I can come down to my 5-minute time frame and I can see, okay, on a 5-minute time frame, what is that exactly looking at, right? We actually have a little bit more of a range that we can take part in here from the 750s into that 713. So maybe instead of it letting it lose that 713 area, we can see if we lose the 200-day moving average, close below it, bounce, and then take out that new low. Then we short that into 713, and anything below 713 is 690s. To the top side, I want to see us get over this little bit of supply here, the 20 and the linear regression on a 5-minute time frame. And then I want to start to take out this double top, right? If I was to expand this over, we've got a little bit of a double wick top here at around 19,833. But you can see if we break this to the top side, there's nothing here. Notice how ugly this chart is, right? Notice how there's so much crap going on here and it's hard to even make out what the hell's going on. That's the stuff you don't want to be trading in, right? You want to be patient. Notice how this is open skies, right? Nothing here. Notice how below this 200 into 713, nothing until we get all the way down to 692, and then below 692, nothing. These are the big macro areas. That's your macro short. That's your short. This is your long, okay? So everything in between, yeah, there's little baby scalps here and there, but we want these bigger levels to confirm. I hope this video finds you well. If you guys want to trade with me, that link is down in the description box below. Also, make sure, guys, we've only got a couple days left. 80% off Apex evaluations, 1 day to pass, as well as $85 lifetime activation fees on those accounts. Let's load up. Let's get to 20 before the year's end, and let's go into the next year. Even though we've got a lot of time left of this year, let's start preparing for next year to come into that new year with a bang, okay? I love you guys. Make sure to like this video, comment. I'll see all of you guys on the inside of Evolution Traders. To everyone else, I'll see you guys back on YouTube, and have a good night.